field day on this map, especially against Protoss, especially in Korea. And RagnaroK, no doubt, is going to have something prepared for this map, but I think Patience will as well. You know, Protoss don't just go on this map, they're like, oh, I'm going to play standard, I'm sure it'll work out, you know? Yeah. They have something special. They need to take that third base. It's hard to hold at the gold, of course. Zergs can put on a lot of pressure with, you know, Roach, Hydra, Lurker.
And these maps are chosen randomly, so Patience can't ban it. And when you have that system and play for maps, you just never know. You have to be prepared because that Prime Terrace is always going to be chosen by your opponents. You're always preparing for it anyways, but I think he's probably got a really specific strategy set up for this map because it's kind of the weirdest map for the matchup. Weirder even than Arena for a Protoss to play a PvZ.
That could be, but we are going to go into game number 4 now between Patience and RagnaroK. Here we are on Prime Terraces for game number 4. Down in the bottom right in the red, the Protoss player, it is Patience.
And his opponent to the top left in blue, it is RagnaroK from CJ Antis. Former TSL Zerg. I always have to highlight that because that team was a team full of legendary Zergs, and all of them went on to do bigger things. I feel like RagnaroK was probably one of the slower players to start to have success, but he's having it now.
Yeah, one of the younger players, you know.
Yeah. We see the probe did get sniped by that drone. Small little advantage here in the early game, which means no further scouting of this double expand. So, you know, it's actually pretty important. Right now, Patience doesn't know what's going on over there. He has to send another probe.
And Patience himself did go for the Nexus first, actually, on this map. Can be dangerous if the Zerg is going aggressive, but he did scout with that probe, as you were mentioning. Going to follow this up with 2 gates very fast. Can put on his own pressure against the Zerg that is going for a double expand. So I feel like this should kind of just even out and transition into a more normal game here.
Drone's going to go over there, perfectly timed. Maynard there. Not the really handsome commentator, but also just the way the term used to slide down there. You know, you and Maynard killed it at Katowice. You guys did some awesome casting.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Maynard. That guy is the coolest guy I've ever met, actually. Sorry, Wolf.
Oh, I thought it was me. What the hell? You said that on TV?
The truth coming out on cast.
Thing is, because it's Maynard, I guess I just have to accept it. I can't even be upset. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, he just is cooler than me.
You're like, oh, I guess you're right. Oh, man.
Never thought about it before.
It's okay. He's cooler than me, so
ever since the first time I met him,
out.
Man. Yeah. I knew it. So those Aussies, man.
Yeah. There's no stopping them.
They're overpowered.
Yeah.
When they're gonna get nerfed. So we do have Ling speed on the way. He's safely kind of droning up. Oh God, Patience still didn't even scout that. I mean, I guess he should assume at this point that it's there, but. Just kind of strange.
He saw the creep.
Oh, okay, he did see the creep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, well, I mean, just go a little bit further, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It would make sense. So we're seeing Adept pressure here into Stargate. I'm getting a feeling we're probably going to see a second Stargate as well, once he can afford it, once those gases start mining, once he gets all 4 of them going at the natural. Adept's poke in, shade in, and...
Very prepared is RagnaroK. He's been so prepared for these Adept plays the entire day. Not going to snipe any of them.
Oh, sick! Gets 2 drones and shades away.
Nicely done.
Thing is, we don't actually yet have a term for, in StarCraft 2 casting, as far as I can tell, for the difference between when you start the shade and finish the shade. We call them both shading. We got to find a word for when you finish the shade.
I guess we can call it finishing the shade for now.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good solution.
Shading out.
Shading out. I like that. Shading out. Shading out and just shading.
Yeah. Maybe shading and then fading.
Nah, I like shading it, shading out and just shading. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like the first part of that is fading, and the second one is shading. Maybe. If we were going to go for that iteration, you know.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying.
It's like their body it fades out of them. I don't know.
If this becomes a standard one day in 2050, when there's like a course to take Starcraft etymology, people are going to link this VOD. Well, we figured it out.
We were the first guys to talk about it.
All right, well, this pressure here, again, going to force drones offline. There's a lot of queens. Again, as you mentioned, RagnaroK seems to be very prepared for these. Oh, my God.
That one Adept stayed alive to shade out.
And then die immediately.
Yeah. Gets 8 drones, 9 drones. It's not bad.
He's keeping the worker count pretty good, but army supply obviously maybe allow him to continue to pressure this third Nexus that hasn't even been started yet. He's got a ton of lings. This Nexus is just not going to happen anytime soon. And he has time now because he has this pressure to just sit back and drone up. Because the Patience wants a third base.
He's got to cancel that. The lings are right on top of it.
Easy cancel here.
Oh, okay, there's a cancel.
Even going to engage on these Adepts. I think this is smart.
Yeah, only 4 Adepts here. And there's a lot of lings.
Those pylons aren't finished. In fact, he may even just go over and kill these pylons, or they can actually go for the overcharge.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. He's going to try for it. It's going to cost him a lot of lings, but he has just barely enough. And if he kills these, this is going to snowball out of control. Looks like with just a few more Adept Warpins and also the Phoenixes that are harassing him at home, he decides to back off. But look at that. He's now like 30 supply ahead. He just doesn't have a lot of workers, but he may actually just do a big attack like we saw in Game 2.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of roaches on the way, 9 in fact. He is not making any more workers, staying very low economy. He wants to play that tempo. He knows he's got a small advantage there. He's taken out a lot of Adepts, and he wants to go for that pressure. Phoenix is still a bit of a problem. Not too many queens. Well, there they are, actually bunching up in the middle. Well, there's actually 7 of them.
He is
actually, there's 11 of them, Wolf. Okay. I take back what I said.
He's going to do the push, just like I was saying. I don't know if he has any Ravagers with this army. It looks like he's just going to go pure Roach. Okay, he's morphing them now. And they're going to come over and hit this third base really hard. He may even just try to drive that wedge between the third and the natural. +1 for these Phoenixes is almost done, but not much that's going to do for him here, especially if he stacks up like this against Corrosive Bile. He needs to be very careful with his control.
Yeah, especially with all the queens once they eventually get across the map. This is an arena, you know, where they can just walk over there. It takes like 5 seconds. It takes a while. RagnaroK is having trouble with these lifts.
Oh, man.
He's losing so many of his units.
Why is he not casting even a single Corrosive Bile? He can at least force the Phoenixes to cancel.
Paying attention to this run by, but now look at all these Adepts. Lings aren't going to do much. I feel like they should just group up with the army.
All right, this is still a strong push, but I feel like it's lost a lot of its power. And, man, Patience, he's just going to commit to this stuff. He shades,
yeah, no way.
But he does shade out.
Whoa. Okay.
But they're all away from his army now. He's going to try to counterattack with this. He's going to lose his Nexus. He's not confident to hit the army. He wants to just hit the reinforcements.
Yeah, I think he knew he wasn't going to hold this third, and he's like, okay, you're not droning up. I know you're attacking me right now. I'm going to catch the reinforcements. I can go for counter-harass, and my Phoenix can defend at home.
Queen's off creep, slowest unit in the game, so I understand his position here. A few more of these
these Ravagers have done nothing. They all got lifted.
He might as well pull the drones across the map with how much these have been able to accomplish.
And now he's supply blocked. He's not even making overlords.
No, he's not. He's in big trouble. We do have Glaives on the way here for Patience as well. So once that finishes, these Adepts are going to get even more powerful. Roach speed was not started.
Oh, man.
And that's a big problem. I didn't even really think about that. These Roaches were going across the map super slow.
These Adepts are getting the best trades of their lives against all these units. The Phoenix number is too high with the +1 upgrade. They shred everything. This is just, oh man, RagnaroK really falling apart here. I mean, Patience doing a fantastic job with the Phoenixes as well.
He's trying to consider if he wants to grab those queens. A lot of his Phoenixes are low on energy because of all the lifts he did earlier, so I think it's probably best to keep them in the sky. Another cancel on this Nexus.
Yeah, it does cancel it, thankfully, for Patience.
I like that he commits to even killing the pylon just so later, if the same situation occurs, there's no overcharge. So many Phoenixes. How many does he have? Like 12? Probably more than that.
Let me take a look. 16.
16, 17.
17 now, yeah. Still has that +1 air.
If he could just get one Viper out.
Probably be sniped before the parasitic bomb even gets off anyway.
Probably. Look at this. Overlord's like, I was just born. Wanted to take a look outside of his home base. Not gonna happen.
So sad. I was just born when the Phoenixes attacked.
Yeah. I was just a baby overlord when Patience arrived at my base.
So Patience, it looks like, finally will secure a third base. The Link's still out on the map, but at this point, I don't believe they're going to be able to do much damage over there. Probably a lot of Adepts to defend, and pylons, Mothership Core, etc., etc.
He just can't keep these overlords protected. He doesn't even have enough money to make Spore Crawlers. 5 Hydras, a small count is going to make this a little bit easier to defend. But finally, a third base is basically set up and ready here. Yep. Look at this. He's even losing his Hydras before they can even participate in the fight.
Yeah, goodbye, Hydras, and still getting just more and more damage. I mean, he has stopped Phoenix production, and interestingly enough, he's got 14. He's not making any more. He's making a full transition into more gateways, ground upgrades, robotics tech, all of that good stuff.
Well, I gotta say, this is the one time where the units lost tab is actually super important. Look at this. He's lost only 5 Phoenixes. Of the carnage he's put on this map is insane. Units lost for the Zerg is 11K to 5K. He's doubled what he's killed. He's killed double what RagnaroK has with those Phoenixes. Lurker Den on the way. He's trying to make that transition. His economy is weak sauce, though. Even weak sauce, not even just weak.
Yeah. And only now has he really gotten up to that 54 number in workers. Decent number of Hydras are going to finally begin to deal with these Phoenixes, but they've done their damage. I mean, they've done enough. You can save the majority of them, use them for harass earlier on, maybe include them in the fight later on, go for lifts on lurkers possibly, snipe overseers, stuff like that. And they just continue getting more damage. These queens are just not enough. Even on creep, they're too slow.
Yeah. Big warp in here, or rather shade in, shade out. Oh, let's get too confusing. We got to figure this out. With those Adepts, Hydras will eliminate them in 14 drones in total with that last cleanup at the 4th base of these Phoenixes.
Yeah. The other thing with these Phoenixes is that he gets a full scout of the base over and over. He's like, okay, you're transitioning to this. Whoa!
Nice move command control there, actually, by RagnaroK. He's going to push these Phoenixes into the Queens as well. That's always the way, guys. If you ever feel like your opponent is not paying attention, don't jump the gun and attack. Actually, right-click, move under them, and then attack. And at that moment, he's going to realize, but it may be too late. That's it's a very good thing to do.
Get more kills.
Yeah, at all levels. You know, even if you're Bronze League, use that. It's smart. It's useful.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying before, the Phoenixes swoop in and out. They know the transition is lurkers, and he's already producing disruptors before I believe any lurkers have come out. Yeah. And he's getting up a second robo as well. I mean, Patience is going to be more than prepared for this. He's getting his second gold base now that he's actually saved until now because he couldn't secure it before. Patience in a fantastic spot in this game.
There's the shade in, and all those Adepts going to get killed by the massive amount of queens. This game is so close, but the 4th base coming up here for Patience is the most important thing. If he can secure that, he gets his disruptors out, this game changes. We have disruptors out before lurkers are ready.
And that's like the thing. That's where Patience really has his advantage. It's the tech. I mean, he's way ahead there.
Yeah. Usually the lurkers, in order for Zerg to win, this is how Zerg wins most every ZVP. Lurkers come out first. You siege up the Protoss's base. You don't let them have a comfortable economy. They struggle to get disruptors out, and then you win the game. In this case, he's already comfortable. He's got double disruptor production. He's going into Psy Storm as well. He's now +2. +1 for Hydra isn't even ready yet. It's not even done yet. Those links aren't doing anything.
Doing nothing.
Nothing.
Middle of the map.
Not doing nothing. Deadlings. I don't want to see that again.
At this point, up to 4 disruptors, 2 at a time, as you said, about to make his 5th. And only 8 lurkers. So as long as Patience has decent control, gets those disruptors into a nice spot where you can begin to 2-shot groups of lurkers with the disruptors.
Taking a look at this game, I feel like the best shot RagnaroK has is Observer Snipes. He has a ton of ranged anti-air with all those queens and hydras. If he can kill the observers, I think he's got a good chance. There's only 1 observer on the map. Take a close look at that observer, because if it goes down, this game could change in a second. I think that's his best opportunity, to be totally honest.
I mean, he can still use the disruptors to hit the lurkers and the other units, but it'll definitely help against the rest of the army for sure. And it seems like Patience kind of scared for now. He moves down the creep. He's like, wait, I'm not ready for this. I need at least 5 more disruptors. But disruptors are an interesting unit too, because once you get up to like 6 7. It's very hard to control all of those well.
You start to lose value basically because you can't control them all.
It's like diminishing returns based on exactly how well you can multitask with your army in a way. He's also got Phoenixes, he's got sentries in there for force fields. I mean, he's going to be doing a million things at a time. He's got Storm on the way, as you said.
You know, in StarCraft 1, you can only put 12 units in a hotkey, or 12 groups in a hotkey, but you only had 10 control groups. In StarCraft 2, you have Infinity, but you only have 10 hotkeys.
Yeah.
In StarCraft 3, I guess we're going to have Infinity hotkeys, so you can actually do this. I don't know. Big double shots going down here in the Disruptors. A huge hit on the Lings.
Oh man, RagnaroK, he has to be so careful about how he engages this. The cooldown is down, but look at those force fields. Parting, is that you?
Oh man.
Are you back?
It's a large amount of Hydras here, but the Lurkers are not nearby. If the Lurkers had been with this army, that would have been a huge engage. His splits were incredible versus those Disruptor shots, and a lot of that goes back to the fact that he's fighting on creep. You know, he spread this creep all the way up here, and we're starting to see more and more Zergs and Legacy really commit to aggressive creep spread because it's so important, and you need to siege up those Protoss bases. This game, again, could go either way, essentially. I want to give the edge to Patience, but remember, vision is important. Good spreading here on these Lurkers.
Yeah, really fantastic. I'm glad you pointed that out. Patience with a nice tag, though. Nice reveal. Ooh, the unburrow, but nice snipe there by Patience.
It was like the first Lurker to ever dodge a Disruptor shot, died immediately to Stalkers afterwards, but history was made tonight.
Sad life of Zerg versus Protoss, am I right?
No observer on the map, by the way. Not a single one, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
So
just relying on the oracles for detection here?
Yeah, oracles and just seeing where they burrow in that vision. How is he? Oh, because I didn't realize that was actually revealed.
Whoa.
Lurker's sneaking over here. This is aggressive.
There is a cannon, so he does have detection, and Lurker's not going to get too much damage. Unfortunate there for RagnaroK.
All right, more and more Hydras coming up. +2's up. A Hive is ready. I feel like Vipers could be useful here, but we don't. I mean, the Phoenixes are no longer the big problem. Could get some cool blinding shots off, blinding clouds off. Maybe a few abducts on those Disruptors would be nice. I don't think going into Lurk, or rather Ultralisk is an option. He's just too poor. He's too broke. Going into anything is tough at this point. He is making those Vipers, though. 4 of them on the way.
Yeah. The Phoenix count is slowly diminishing. You can see he's struggling to use even all of them. Only a couple of them did go in there for some lifts. And uh-oh, some Stalkers getting caught out here, but the Storms join the fight now. Keep in mind, he's got a lot of energy on those High Templar, so he could feed back the Vipers eventually. But, uh-oh, a bunch of the High Templar are, in fact, going to be caught, but a big chunk of those Hydras do go down.
Better worker count currently for RagnaroK.
You're fading out there like an Adept Wolf there for a second.
I'm like in and out, you never know. It's all these tags on the Oracles like distorting my voice. If he actually wins this fight convincingly, if there's any way RagnaroK gets a few good Lurker shots, he could win the game, but it just doesn't look like he can. Patience is being, no pun intended, just very patient here, not
he's got the pulls on the Disruptors, but look at the lifts on all of the Hydras that were left over. And some of the Lurkers at the south, but not really joining the fight.
And more Stalkers at the back as well, set up here. He just warps them in. This base is killed. There's a new 5th base to the bottom left. He's trying to use that to hang on.
Oh, the Vipers, they're up there. You guys can't see it, but they're being decimated by the Phoenixes. No anti-air as we're watching a larva egg be killed. Look at these Vipers. They're all going down. They're not doing anything.
No. Not the best observer we've ever had here at the Star League, but your point still stands. He does aggressively push the Protoss off. And the thing is, this base is alive, but I don't think Patience knows about it. Can you check for me?
Yeah, let me...
yeah, he doesn't know about it. So that's... And in fact, there's even another base being taken to the far bottom left. RagnaroK is just trying to hang on. He's like, Patience isn't confident to engage me. It's actually a beautiful thing. This happens all the time in StarCraft 1, but in Legacy of the Void, everyone's hoping we're going to have situations like this. Situations where a player is 60 supply down, but the game continues. It's not the blob.
Yeah, it doesn't end once the death ball hits, you know.
I love how Legacy of the Void is playing out like this.
A couple of Disruptors could have been sniped there, but RagnaroK does run by. And look at this. Patience coming down to this base. Does not know about the bases to the south, but he's got a nice position now to sell this base at least. Disruptor shots coming in. There go a couple of the Lurkers instantly.
Losing a few of these Disruptors as well, but we're starting to reach almost the point of no return where Patience just controls too much. More harassment going on. RagnaroK is really trying to win this game off of those hidden bases. But it looks like Patience doesn't want to give him any more time.
The morphing lurkers, oh, they all get canceled. That's so unfortunate. He needed those into the defense.
Yeah, if he had those, this would have been a lot easier. He has plenty of observers. He's just not confident enough to attack into these lurkers. I don't think he realizes how ahead he is. I mean, at this point, he's 100 supply ahead.
Sticking it very slow, but here comes the blink as I say that. Right on top of the lurkers, right on top of the Hydras. Disruptor shots coming through. There's just not enough left over here for RagnaroK.
Oh man, but he's still losing a lot of these Protoss units. It's still not enough, as you said. But man, David Kim, please. That was crazy. He actually lost so much Protoss there. But that is actually going to be the end of this series. No amount of hidden bases is going to save RagnaroK here. He's got 17 supply of army. GG. And Patience will advance.
Nicely done by Patience, taking the 3-1 over RagnaroK, his friend. But he will move on to that round of 4. Nicely done. He only dropped 1 set there. RagnaroK was looking really sad, actually.
Yeah. Well, luckily for RagnaroK, he is on one of the best teams in Pro League CJ, so he can at least rest assured that his career doesn't end here until Season 2.
Yeah.
Had Patience, who's a mercenary player, had lost there, things would have been a little bit different.
Well, let's hear from the man himself. Patience winning that last best of 5.
축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
오늘 굉장히 차분하게 본인의 경기력 쭉 펼쳐주신 것 같은데 지금 기분이 어떠신가요?
You played a very patient game today.
일단 4강을 가게 돼서 기분이 엄청 좋고요.
I'm happy to move on to the round of 4.
오늘 경기력이 생각보다 엄청 안 좋아서 좀 그 부분에서는 기분이
He's not really fully satisfied with his play today.
우리가 보기에는 굉장히 침착하게 주전 선수가 준비해온 걸 잘 보여줬던 것 같거든요. 오늘 준비해온 경기의 테마는 뭐였나요?
일단
feel that you played a very calm game
방어적으로
today. How did
원래
you prepare for
하려고
that?
했는데 신이범 선수가 그 생각대로 공격적으로 해서 방어적으로 했어요.
오늘 유일하게 조지현 선수가 패배한 2세트 말고 다 승리를
RagnaroK played
거뒀잖아요.
aggressive game, so he basically just had to play defensively.
맞은 스트레이지는 잘 모르겠지만
more
사도
defensively
견제가
even than he
성공했을 때와 실패했을 때 약간 승패의 차이가 갈리더라고요.
네.
저그전에서 사도 견제가 얼만큼 중요하다고 생각하시나요?
일단 저그전에서 처음에 같이 배불리고 시작하면 토스가 좀 안 좋은 것 같아요. 그래서 사도로 일꾼을 좀 잡고 시작해야 상황이 반반되는 것 같아요.
If both players go for economy,
그 조지현 선수가 해외팀 소속이라서 아무래도 좀 연습 과정이라든지
so you actually have to use the Adepts to kill a lot of workers in the early game in order to have a
감독이
chance.
예전부터 조지현은 된다고 했어요. 예선 때부터.
네.
근데 정작 막상 4강에 올라오긴 했는데 약간
You heard it here
상대하는
first, guys. To
선수들의
beat
커리어나
lurkers,
이런
just
게
kill drones to the
조지현
depths
선수보다
first.
월등하잖아요.
That's all you gotta do.
약간 좀 4강에 올라온 게 부담스럽거나 그런 건 없나요 이제?
원래 제가 긴장을 엄청 많이 하는데 그래도 최근에 대회를 많이 하다 보니까
This is the highest you've ever gotten in an
긴장이
individual
좀
league tournament. Are you nervous?
상대가
I
좀
always get
강해도
nervous in the booth, but I've gained a lot of
차분하게 할 수
experience from
있는
this
것
tournament.
네. 이제 김대엽 선수와의 맞대결이
So I'm a little bit more confident.
8강에서 김대엽 선수에게 3대1로 패배했더라고요.
In the booth, he's not.
근데 또 한
too
번 만나게
nervous.
됐어요, 공교롭게.
네.
복수해야죠.
복수해야죠.
어떤 것 같아요? 김대엽 선수랑 한번 해보니까
So how was it like playing against Stats?
투프전을 엄청 잘하시더라고요. 프로리그도
He's a good
투프전 다
PvP
이기시고
player.
해서 진짜 준비
He is
잘
winning all the
해와야
PvPs in
이길
Pro
수
League.
있을 것 같아요.
라운드로
So I'm gonna have to
거듭할수록
try my
조지현
best to prepare
선수가
well
오프라인
for
대회에서도
that match.
굉장히 차분하고 안정적인 경기력을 보여주고 있는데 이제는 목표가 우승인가요?
일단은
Is your goal
목표가
now
최종
to
결승
become a
가는 게
champion?
목표고요. 네.
Right now, it's
최종
just
결승이
to
목표예요.
advance to the grand
그럼
finals.
마지막으로 멋진 경기 앞으로도 보여주겠다고 팬들에게
my
한
goal for
말씀
now.
해주시죠.
What are
열심히
your final
연습해서
comments?
다음 경기는 더 좋은 경기력으로 좋은
He'll
경기력
try to
보여드리겠습니다.
show better
감사합니다.
performance
선수에게 큰
in
박수
his next
부탁드립니다.
match, and he thanks the fans for coming,
네,
and
이렇게 해서
he'll show
오늘
better
마지막
games in the future.
생존자 조지현 선수까지 만나봤고요. 오늘의 경기
Never heard that one before, but
Yeah,
a unique interview there at the end of things. Let's take a look at today's results.
yeah. That first best of 5, I feel like was, to be honest, higher quality than the second one we had. I feel like the first one was really close. Both those players have a ton of experience, no nerves really in the booth. Very interesting builds used across the board. Final game was really cool too. But yeah, the second one, I feel like a lot of nerves across the board. RagnaroK, everybody loves to talk about how great he is, but he just can't perform when it comes down to this very, very high-level stage. And you could see it on his face at the end. I don't think he was happy with his performance tonight.
I have to agree with you there. But, I mean, again, like I said, he's on CJ, one of the best teams in Pro League, so he's definitely got a lot going for him there. He's got a great team to practice with. Next Thursday, we are going to have that PvP stats versus patience. And things are really starting to come to an exciting conclusion here at this tournament.
Yeah, we're slowly getting closer and closer.
Definitely check out Group H tomorrow at the GSL. It's going to be DRG Hero, and I couldn't see the fourth player there. And before the GSL, actually, I'm going to be doing an AMA Ask Me Anything on Reddit. So it's going to be at 1 p.m. Korean Standard Time, so 5 hours before the GSL, and I'm going to do it like all the way up until about when the GSL starts. So come ask me anything, ask me questions on Reddit, and I will respond to you guys for like about 5 hours.
Yep. Ask him about his amiibos. Ask him about what his favorite gogi-jib is, where he likes to eat meat in Korea. You can literally ask him anything.
Yes, AMA.
That's the way it works.
That it is.
So I guess I'll see you next week, Wolf.
That's right.
We get to cast.
Actually, I'm going to be casting Pro League starting from next week on next Tuesday, so I'll see you guys there as well.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. We'll see you next time.
One step back and 2 steps forward. Sometimes I can't help but say we're making history. Our history.